is a fourth one, and that is having a credible business premise. This is mostly important for startups. So, when you have a startup business and the business maybe hasn't hired anybody yet, and hasn't acquired any customer, hasn't generated any revenue or very little revenue, the business is going to look very marginal and speculative to the immigration official if it's run out of a home office or like a virtual office or like a co-working space. It's just going to look really small, minuscule, speculative, and that creates a higher risk of E2 visa denial. So especially for startup business, it's important, even though the E2 visa law does not specifically require a formal commercial business premise, but having a commercial premise, an office space, a warehouse, store, whichever is appropriate, is still relevant for E2 visa because it's just one piece of the puzzle to help demonstrate the credibility and viability of business and how committed the E2 entrepreneur is. So if the business is a startup and it's really early stage, and basically they've just spent the money, set everything up, ready to start operating, but hasn't really formally started operating at the time they apply for E2 visa, then it's actually quite important to have a credible, legitimate, professional-looking business premise in which we're able to show photographs of the premise, because that becomes a piece of the puzzle of our E2 presentation to the immigration official. Like, here, it's a startup business, very early stage, doesn't have customers yet, hasn't hired anybody, or has only hired one person. But look, the applicant has secured a commercial premise, set it up, and is poised to really take off when they get the E2 visa. And it adds to the credibility. And that's why we have a lot of success with startup, because we really focus on the immigration officer's point of view. The doubts that come to their mind, I will preemptively address those doubts, guiding and advising our client to be aware of those potential doubts and address it preemptively so that when the immigration officer look at our E2 application presentation, any concerns they have is addressed front and center so that when our client goes to the visa interview, hopefully the visa officer, being satisfied with the documentary presentation we've submitted, is predisposed to approving the E2 visa and hopefully giving our clients an easier interview experience.